Hey everybody, welcome to your horoscopes for this week. These are the horoscopes for the week ending June 25th, 2016. It is technically the last official full week of June, and it is, of course, the last few days of Gemini being in, the sun being in Gemini, I should say, before it moves on to Cancer. Now we got a lot of fun stuff going on for you guys, and we're going to go ahead and get right to it, and we're going to start as we always do with Aries. Now, the good news is that square between Pluto and Uranus is over next week. We still have to deal with it this week, but it is official. You guys are going to get your summer break from that square next week. So I'm very happy to be able to tell you guys this. Now, but it is still there this week, and it is still causing a little bit of financial difficulty. But the good news is that Uranus is lined up in a trine with the Sun and Venus, and what that is doing to you is it's really providing a very positive energy towards your career goals. Now, a lot of the times you have goals and you think, I need money to be able to achieve these goals, and so if you don't have the money, it stops you from doing any kind of forward movement. Now, the big lesson here with this challenge and with this aspect that's very helpful is that it's letting you know that, one, your career makes you money, so of course it's going to help resolve your financial issue, and two, lack of money is really a horrible excuse not to move forward with your goals. Do whatever it is that you can do and work around the financial situation for now until you can get that financial situation resolved. What these two aspects working together are really trying to convey to you is that you don't want to let anything stop you from moving forward in those goals, even if it is a financial struggle. So this week, let's not worry so much about money, whether or not we have the money, whether we don't have the money, whatever it is. Focus that energy on these particular career goals right now, because this is growth, this is movement, this is all kinds of yummy, wonderful stuff that is just waiting for you to go and grab it. And those financial problems, they'll be gone before you know it. So you guys have a great week with that. Taurus, the part of fortune comes into your sign this week with a very positive influence on your finances, which is always a good thing. Now, when we're talking about financial and personal growth, a lot of obstacles will get in the way, and a lot of things will come into your life or into your mind to plague you, or a lot of things will come into your mind in order to allow you some time to worry about them. And of course, with typical earth signs, but really with everybody, we have a tendency to worry about those obstacles rather than just trying to find a way around them. Now, sometimes we do try to find a way around them, but we're worrying about them at the same time, so it's kind of counterproductive. This week, it really is all about what you do with your financial situation, how you think about your financial situation, and how much do you really want to manifest to change this particular situation. Now, manifestation is a two-way process. Of course, you have to visualize what it is that you want, and then you have to believe that it is going to happen. And I should add a third step here. You got to do the work and go in the direction that your intuition is pulling you to in order to get those financial breakthroughs. And you really have to be open to it coming to you in any way, shape, or form, unless you're really specific that it's coming from a specific direction. So this week, it's time to let the money worries go. Just enjoy a little bit of a financial boost this week for a couple of days. Don't worry about having to keep the money for something else or save the money for something else, or worry about once it's gone there's not going to be anything there. The point here is the more you worry about your financial situation, the more you keep yourself stuck in that financial situation, and nobody wants to be stuck in a crummy financial situation. So you guys have a great week with that. Gemini, happy birthday to the last of the Geminis born this week. The sun is officially moving out of your sign this week and moving on into Cancer. But as Mercury takes his position and reinstates that mutable Grand Cross for you for most of this week, it'll be over by the end of the week, things are going to get a little bit chaotic again. Now, the good news is that this is very short-lived. I know you're probably tired of it, but this particular mutable Grand Cross has a very important lesson for you guys if you so choose to accept that challenge. Now, as Mercury is forming this mutable Grand Cross with Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune, your thoughts, and any kind of negative thought process is really going to be very dangerous when it comes to achieving your goals and dreams. You want to remain focused, and of course you want to use clear communication when working with these particular goals and dreams. You don't want to allow any kind of miscommunication to happen if it's at all possible. But if the miscommunication does happen, it's okay. You have the power to clear things up so that everybody's on the same page. What you want to avoid is getting frustrated, getting angry, spending too much time thinking about the situation in a negative way in your head, because that's not going to resolve anything. It's very counterproductive. You want to make sure that you're on top of it as much as possible and not necessarily getting sucked into the chaotic drama that's going on around the situation. You be above everybody else, which of course is a great place for Geminis to be when you think about it, but you need to be above everybody else so you can see what's going on in the horizon there and not be a part of the mess where everybody's just kind of sort of not getting along, if that makes sense. So this week, we have a little bit more of a challenge. It's almost gone. I promise it's almost gone. And then things are going to be a little bit more smooth sailing for you guys. But until we get there, it's really important for you guys to really stay focused. Really stay focused on what it is that you want to do. And of course, really stay focused on those goals. And don't let all of the chaotic energy around you suck you in to be chaotic yourself. This time, you really, really, really want to listen. So you guys, have a great week with that. Happy birthday, Cancer! And happy birthday to all of the Cancers born this week. The sun is shining in your sign. That means it is your time to shine. And of course, in conjunction with Venus, it's all about careers that you love. Doing something that you love in terms of what your career is. Now, as the sun and Venus line up in a sextile with Uranus, we're going to be bringing some money into this situation also, as financial gain is really a big thing for you guys this week. And when you really take the time to focus on building a career around what you love to do, the finances are a big, huge perk of that business. But not only that, I mean, you know, it's good to make money, of course. It makes you feel good because you know you're doing something that you love to do and you're making a difference for other people. And whatever that is that you choose to do, or whatever that is that resonates with your heart, is really, really important to put the time and effort into building that business this week. Now, of course, Venus is going to move into opposition with Pluto. The Sun's going to move into opposition with Pluto too at some point. And this opposition with Pluto is going to make you feel a little bit torn between these career goals and your home-based responsibilities. But you're in charge. You're in charge of your schedule. You're in charge of how you do things, when you do them, and all that stuff. So rather than feeling like you're being torn and have to make a decision between the two, it's time to sit down and make out a little bit of a schedule. That way you make sure to spend equal time focused on those career goals and focus on your home-based responsibilities as well. The truth is, you can overcome any obstacle if you put your mind to it. So don't let the feeling that you're betraying everybody else around you take over what it is that you're doing with these goals, because this week it's really important, not just for you, but for these people, to really show everybody that it is okay to live your dream. It is okay to do something that you love, and it is okay to make money doing what you're really good at. So you guys have a great week with that. Leo, this week you guys are feeling the love as you are surrounded by those that love you, and with so much energy and so much of yourself that you put into all the relationships around you. It is really a beautiful feeling when you feel all of that reciprocated back at you, and this week is what it's all about. Now, a lot of times it might be nice to, of course, feel that love being reciprocated back at you, but you also feel like maybe you should be giving rather than receiving. This week, being so focused on receiving love, it's really important to remember that there is a balance. It's wonderful to give, and you should be giving, of course. Everybody should be giving, but you have to be open to receive at the same time. It really kind of screws up the process when you're constantly giving, even if you're the one saying, no, I don't want to receive, I just want to give. I understand how this works because I'm the same way. It can be uncomfortable to receive, but this week, that's what it's all about for you guys. You guys have to be open to receive. Open those arms, allow that love to flow in and flow freely, and really soak it up and enjoy it, because the truth is, you guys have had a rough couple of months. You deserve every moment, and it's your time to shine in the love that you receive. So you guys have a great week with that. Virgo, Jupiter starts off the week in a mutable grand cross with Mercury, Neptune, and Saturn, and as Neptune moves out of that position, it just leaves you with that T-square between Saturn and Neptune, which is a little bit easier, of course, but it's still a mutable T-square, which can still feel a little bit chaotic and frustrating. Now, at the beginning of the week, your frustrations and distractions are mainly around your goals and dreams, but as Mercury moves out of that position, it seems that those distractions are actually distracting you from a lot of different aspects of your life, and it can be very frustrating. When this happens, of course, it's typical. Most people just want to throw their hands up in the air and say, I give up. What's the point? But the thing is that a lot of the frustration is ruled by your own thoughts, believe it or not. And this is a very old pattern that everybody has, really, when you think about it. You get frustrated, and then you sit there and you think about how to overcome this frustration. You think about your anger. You think about how you feel. You overanalyze it to death. Because what do Virgos do? They have a tendency to overanalyze things to death. This week, it's time to break that pattern for good and get out of your head. Overthinking the situation is not going to help you. It's actually going to make it a lot more difficult for you to be able to see past the obstacle to find the clear path that you need to be on. So this week, use your brain for what it's supposed to be. It's an idea maker. When you have those ideas pop in your mind, of course, write them down and see if they're going to fit with your particular situation. And other than that, let it go. And when the frustration comes up to you, understand you have a right to feel the way that you feel, so take 5 minutes to feel that way and then move on from it. This is going to make you productive. It's going to make the situation continue to move forward rather than feeling like you're constantly backpedaling. And you guys have a lot to accomplish, so you'd better get cracking and turn that brain off for a while. So you guys have a great week with that. Libra, the story of who you are now is written in the chapters of the book that came before the person that you are now. And that is actually a good thing to take an inventory of this week. Now, we're all made up of positive and negative influences that have happened to us over the years, either things that we've done or things that people have done to us. And it of course, it does build up a person, but some of those negative things have a tendency to build up a person that might be a little bit insecure or maybe a little bit unorganized, or, it has negative effects on you now. This week, it's time to take an inventory of those things and really embrace and make the most of those circumstances and things that really make you a great person. And then take an inventory of some of those things that might have negatively influenced you. Now, when I say take a look at and embrace, I'm not saying criticize it. I'm not saying turn it into some evil trophy and make it yours in some way. What I'm saying is that it's time to look at some of those things, pick one, and really work through overcoming and releasing the feelings that you still continue to hold on with that particular situation. We will hold on to these feelings for all eternity, it seems. And the frustration and the anger and the resentment just builds and builds and builds inside of you. Number one, it's really not good for your physical health. And number two, it's these things that are the foundation for a lot of the obstacles that you will be putting up in front of yourself in the future. And it's definitely responsible for some of those obstacles you've put up in front of you in the past. So this week, don't be afraid to take that inventory and do it in such a way that it's an improvement to you. Because the more that you do this, the more you're really going to see and make the most of your strengths, and the less you're going to criticize those things that might be a negative influence over you. And you know what? Some of those negative influences can actually be turned into positive ones. Think about that, and have a great week with that. Scorpio, Mars retrograde energy is going to have you feeling low on energy, and his opposition with Mercury is going to make you feel like that low energy is going to be what's stopping you from achieving your goals this week. Now, this low energy feeling is caused a lot by your own thoughts about the situation. A good example of this would be somebody who's always talking about how busy they are. And I'm actually one of these people. I need to stop doing it. When you're talking about how busy you are, you're overwhelming your mind with all of the things that you have to do. And of course, you're thinking about all these things that you have to do, not necessarily when you're doing them, but in your mind, you're constantly going over all of these things that need to be done or haven't been done yet, or et cetera, et cetera. What this does two things for you. First of all, that overthinking is exhausting, believe it or not. It really does make you tired. So it lowers your energy. But also at the same time, what you're doing is you're using your mind to create an obstacle by seeing so many things that you have to do that you wind up saying, I don't have the energy to do all of that, so I'm not going to do it anyways. And of course, with Mars being in retrograde and feeling that low energy on top of that, it's just going to get from bad to worse. So this week, the best course of action really is to take things one at a time. And you know, anything that you can put off until later, and I'm not saying procrastinate here. I'm saying if you've got two things that need to be done right now, do one of them and put the other one off until later if you can. By doing this, you're still progressing forward. You're still working with that retrograde energy of Mars that is kind of slowing you down a little bit. But it might actually be slowing you down for a reason. And when you find out what that reason is, you're going to be happy that you slowed down. So you guys have a great week with that. Sagittarius, just one more week of Saturn's opposition with Mercury, and of course their placement in the mutable grand trine as we bring Jupiter and Neptune into the mix also. Now this mutable grand cross is going to be breaking up towards the end of the week, but Mercury is still going to be in opposition with Saturn there for the rest of the week. Now what this aspect really does for you guys, and not necessarily in a positive way, is it's all centered around the mind and how you're thinking about the situation. It's really trying to bust you out of your head and into the physical world and putting that energy into your hands to do something, rather than thinking about what you want to do and thinking about all the obstacles that are going to be in front of you when you try to do it. This is very typical with a lot of clients that I work with. If I give advice as a medium and I say, this is what I'm told you should do, and I get, yes, but. Number one, I hate those two words, yes, but, because every time you say yes, but, what you're saying is, something's going to stop me. And what you're really saying is, I'm going to stop me. In some cases, there are situations out there that make it impossible for you to do that. But if you're answering every question with yes, but, chances are it's you that's holding you back. This week, as Jupiter is showing you that this is an old pattern and it's time to bust it through, it's time to bust through this pattern. Get out of your head. Stop thinking about what you need to do and put that energy where it needs to be. Right here into your hands, because your hands are what's going to be doing the work. So you guys have a great and productive week with that. Capricorn, Pluto's square with Uranus is over next week, but this week it's still plaguing you, and especially plaguing you when it comes to finances. It's really actually creating a bit of a financial difficulty, but luckily Pluto's trine with Jupiter is showing you that this is old news. Everybody goes through these financial difficulties, even Capricorns, which are generally known for being really good about making money and money management. But everybody, even the best people, have a tendency to get into these little financial difficulties. The trine with Jupiter is showing you, or allowing you to open up those past examples of when you had this problem again. Not to show you that you failed before, and therefore you shouldn't really be surprised that you failed again, but to show you where you went wrong, or the mistakes that were made at that particular time. Now, mistakes are A lot of people look at mistakes as something terribly wrong and we shouldn't have made them, but they're actually lessons. We know obviously what doesn't work, and it gives us the opportunity to be able to use that in order to create something that does work. So this week, take a look at those old situations where you were in this financial difficulty before. Start identifying those little mistakes there, those little things that didn't quite necessarily go right, and use those particular things to make sure that you don't use those, because you already know they don't work, and find something that really does. And when you do this, you might lessen those financial difficulties more and more from here on out. So you guys have a great week with that. Aquarius, this week the focus is going to move from work to play, and that is always a fun thing. Aquarians are very analytical minded. They love to figure things out. They love to create things, and they love to work on things, and that's a wonderful thing. But occasionally you got to take a step back from that and really spend some time focused on those that you love. And this is a good thing, not just for you, of course, but for them, because they might be missing you. You never know. Aquarians get so sucked into what they're doing that a lot of times hours will go by without them even realizing that that time has gone by. But this week, it is time to spend some time focused on those that you love and really fully be present in that moment while you're there. The other drawback to Aquarians is whatever it is that we're doing, this is still going a mile a minute, creating all kinds of different ideas and things that they want to do. But when you are spending this time, you want to be as fully present as possible. It's good for you. It gives your brain a break. It's good for them, and it's good for you and them, because you get to really re-cement that relationship and really have some fun together. So this week, have some fun with your loved ones, because the truth is, when everything is all work and no play, it really is no fun. You guys have a great week with that. And finally, Pisces. Neptune's retrograde energy is definitely opening up your intuition, as Neptune retrogrades are a little bit different than the other retrogrades of the other planets. They actually make what the planet's strength, or what the planet stands for, a lot stronger. And during Neptune retrogrades, oftentimes your own spiritual gifts and intuition become heightened at this time. Now, as Neptune, of course, is in this mutable grand trine with Saturn and Jupiter and Mercury, your intuition is your best defense mechanism against all the chaos going on in that particular aspect. Not only that, but Neptune is also lining up with the Sun and Venus in a trine, and it's really showing you, or giving you, your intuition is pointing you in the direction of where you need to really focus your time and energy right now. With a mutable Grand Cross, it's like you're trying to put your energy everywhere all at once, and you can't do that. That is a recipe for failure right off the top. This trine, however, is allowing your intuition to really show you where you need to focus right now, which is your career. And specifically, not just your job, but building the career that you love, the career that you've always wanted, the career that really means something to you. Now, focusing in this particular direction of your life does not necessarily mean that everything else in your life is less important. But at the same time, you do have to lay down boundaries on every aspect of your life. And don't be afraid to lay down those boundaries in the other aspects of your life this week. Because the truth is, while the energy is ripe for really making leaps and bounds in your career, you definitely don't want to miss out that opportunity because you didn't listen to your intuition the first time. So you guys, have a great week with that. Thanks so much for watching the horoscopes for this week. I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Go ahead and check out theheavymetalpsychic.com. It is live. It is there. And of course, you could check out the Heavy Metal Psychic Spiritual Boot Camp. It is also live. We've already got it started. We're learning as we go, and it's super fun and fantastic. For mentors, we love to teach, but we love to teach people who love to learn. So if you are ready for your development, it's time to head on over to the Spiritual Boot Camp page on theheavymetalpsychic.com. Again, I'm Melissa Bruce, the Heavy Metal Psychic. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great week. I will see you guys next week.